Hey, howdy ho, all you beautiful motherfuckers. Welcome on in. Welcome back to the $2 Film Club. I don't know why I'm saying this really fast, but welcome back, and welcome back. You know what we're talking about this week? Some Mission Impossible films. You want to know why? Because Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. It's called The Final Reckoning now. It's coming out this weekend. I want to see how fast I could do that intro. But you know what? I think I did do it pretty fast. And this is going to sound really
Dude, you're
weird
so
when I
fucking
explain it.
stupid.
No, dude. You know what's really stupid? The more I thought about this, the less I'm like, you know what? Maybe Mission Impossible 2 really isn't that great overall because we're deciding to talk about the first one and third one today, which
I
I
mean,
think are
I'll
interesting.
mention Mission Impossible 2 briefly because I did watch it.
I
But yeah,
mean, we'll mention it.
the main topic of discussion is going to be the first Mission Impossible from '96, and then the third one from what
Yeah,
2007,
2006.
2006. Sorry. So yeah.
Damn, 10-year time span it took them to release these three. I never
Probably
put
because the
put
second
two
one
and
was
two
so
together.
bad. It's probably because the second one was so bad, man.
It's just so it's. I think this episode's just gonna be like we talk primarily about the first and third, but just like throw
Random
punches at the
dibs.
sec. Yeah, about the second one in between because it's just like there's something about it that makes it so unremarkably rememberable at the same
Unmemorable.
time. Unmemorable film that's memorable.
Like,
Like there's so much I forget about
what
it, but
even was the reception of this movie?
bro, I don't think it's ever been good for that film. But I will say, I know we said last week, or I feel like the last few episodes we've done, I said, oh, you know what? I don't remember this person being in this film. And
That's like
you
this
know what?
entire franchise.
That's pretty much this entire franchise.
Like, do you remember when
But
Jeremy Renner was in these movies?
no, bro, I do. And low key, I thought he was kind of a highlight in them.
Yeah,
Like
he
I
kind of
liked
is.
him.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess we can start with Mission Impossible 2, like, briefly. I just want to say that, like, it's a really weird movie, like, especially in comparison to, like, the other ones. Like, going from Mission Impossible, like, the first one, to Mission Impossible 2 to Mission Impossible 3 is a very jarring trip because they're so, like, different in tone and style. And Mission Impossible 2, I don't know. I don't even know where to begin with this, like, cuz choosing John Woo as the director, I guess, was an interesting choice, but it's not like a good one. Um like, I don't know. I don't think he was the right choice for this franchise. And it's overly serious for no reason most of the time. But then, like, you'll just hear someone say one of the weirdest lines of dialogue ever. And yeah, that's personally, this is probably like the third time I've ever watched it all the way through, and I don't really feel like going back like anytime soon.
No, it's not a good movie. You only think about the opening with the Tom Cruise rock climbing or the ending with like the motorcycles.
That's so ridiculous. I fucking hate that. Like,
I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you. The action is kind of the least favorite part. My least favorite part of that movie. Like, some of the scenes, like, on their own, are kind of good, but then when you, like, put them together, it's just like a really weird movie. But anyway, let's talk about the good ones.
well, you brought up a good point before, I think, about like how the three of them are super different. Because when I
Yeah,
was watching, like, I know we're going to be talking about the first one first, but like, it's kind of the same experience watching the first one and the third one is just that jarring experience of these, like, not talking about the second one, but like these three film era, like this 12 to 14 year span in which these three films came out, where they were trying to figure out the identity of the franchise. Like they're all kind of the same genre, but like it kind of bends the genre in different ways. Like in this first film, you have that very deep espionage spy
yeah,
thriller, but then it's weird. The ending becomes an action film, while the third one is like a straight up action film where the ending act kind of becomes a one on one, more personal interaction.
yeah. I think, I mean, minus Mission Impossible 2. I think the this one. Mission Impossible from '96, Mission Impossible 3, and even to a similar extent, Mission Impossible 4, or I guess it's called Ghost Protocol. They all have like their own distinct like qualities and advantages, and it isn't really until like the fifth one, like Rogue Nation, where it like it keeps up the consistency. I feel, you know what I mean, and
Well,
like
I
what it
mean,
is and what it's
yeah,
trying to do.
yeah, I agree. I think by the fourth, like the end of the fourth, like the fifth film is really where the franchise kind of found its true identity.
Which is kind
But
of
it,
weird for for a movie that for a franchise that's had like four installments up until that point.
yeah, right. And it's not had many since then. It's just been long films with long waiting in between. Like,
Yeah,
bro, this new one's like 3.5, 3 hours long. I'm pretty sure.
the
Like,
Dead or Final Reckoning.
final. Yeah,
Is
it's
it
hard not to
really?
say Dead Reckoning, right?
It is hard. I'm never gonna forgive them for that. I'm so angry, and it's even more dumb that everything else still says Dead Reckoning Part One. But anyways,
But
is it
I
really
find it
gonna be that long?
interesting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be
it's
like
two
three
hours and
hours.
49 minutes. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, dude.
How long was the other
That's.
one?
I think it was like 2.5, but like this one's longer by at least 10 minutes.
No, it wasn't even. It was 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Was it really that short? Wow, it felt longer.
I'm honestly, I'm probably also. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Where's the other one? Where the fuck is Dead Reckoning? Oh, here it is.
Dead Reckoning Part One, Leo.
No, yeah, it was over 2.5 hours. Um, Interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna be on. I mean, we'll talk. We might. Well, no, we're not gonna talk about this later because we're not talking about the Dead Reckoning Part One. I don't really understand. This is okay. I guess yeah. This is the good episode to talk about because we're talking about the questionable decisions in this franchise. I don't understand the point of breaking up the last movie into two movies. Like Dead Reckoning felt overly long to me, and I didn't really understand what was happening because things were just kind of happening.
Well, I think that's why they just decided to split it because this wasn't a franchise built upon like super deep interconnected
I don't need it to be
storytelling
deep.
that.
I just need to understand what's happening, like the
Well,
plot of
that
the movie.
well, that's the thing is like they try to like. That's the thing is like it's gonna be like it's a two-parter story. Like the events of the last film just carry over into this. Like the end of the last one had a resolution by I forgot what the name of the device was, but by like Ethan capturing it, which is like my thing with like these part one and part two films is I don't feel if the film in between doesn't seem to have or the ending that connects the two doesn't seem to have like a true ending to whatever that story is in that film you just watched
Well,
that connects it, then I'm cool with it. But like that's the thing that doesn't bug me too much is I feel like the ending of Dead Reckoning Part One kind of had at least a conclusive enough ending to where you can split them
I
apart.
mean, I suppose, but it's kind of annoying when the whole movie is them like, oh shit, sorry. The whole movie is them like chasing after this fucking MacGuffin, and then they like it keeps like they keep getting it, and then they keep losing it, and then they keep getting like it's kind of just like the same thing, and that's why I feel like it's way too long. Is because most of the time it's like kind of the same thing happening, but you don't really understand why it's important. I don't know. At
Well,
least that's what I felt. I haven't. I've only seen it once. I do have to watch it again, partially because I didn't understand what was going on. But it's.
well,
I would definitely say it's a massive step down from Fallout. Like Fallout was like
I wouldn't say massive.
I kind of I. It's not as good as Fallout. Like I know Fallout is kind of like a hard one to like to beat, but I don't know. I wasn't really as impressed with Dead Reckoning.
The thing I will say though is I think it's really interesting going back to the first and third film because you see a lot of the prints of what the foundations of like what we know to be Mission Impossible with like that iconic theme song. Like while watching that third film, I don't know if you realize this. This might be wrong because I haven't seen the second one in a long time, but it's got like that original iconic opening of like the lighting the bomb, whatever that little string is that you light at the top of the bomb for it to go down and explode. And it
Did the first one
and
not
it
have that one?
I don't remember it
I could have
having it.
swore it had that.
I
I we
At
I
least I
just
can't
watched
remember
this.
it.
I just watched it. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up Paramount right now and I'm gonna look.
I'll be honest, I usually blank out during the credit, like the opening
Yeah,
credit scenes,
yeah.
but like I don't know, I feel like it didn't have. I don't remember it having that opening.
I know that Mission
It
Impossible
might have
2.
the. I think it has the iconic music, but I don't think it has like that same
Well,
opening as like the TV show.
maybe that's why I'm so confused right now because I remember the music being there. No, I'm pretty. Hold on, hold on.
Dun 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 doo-doo-doo, 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 doo-doo.
No, it has the match thing.
Does it in the beginning, the match
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, it does.
Okay. Okay.
It's
I
that.
don't remember it being in that one
I'll
for
say
some reason.
it's not as prominent as like the third one or even in some of the other ones. Like, but I'm trying. Okay, now I have to figure it. Now I have to go back and see if the second one has it because I know it has the music, but I don't remember it being like. I
I
remember
don't remember the second one having
I
that intro.
it has a really dumb guitar riff version of it. I don't. No disrespect to Hans Zimmer, but like
He's a goat.
I
But
don't
like
really like.
brother,
I don't think his style fits this movie. I don't think the style of anything going on in this movie fits the movie, but that's just me.
well, I think that's the biggest gripe I think between the first and third one is it lacks consistency of what it wants to do
Hmm.
between them because the problems I have in the first one are the things that I really enjoy in the third one with like the character relationship and the character dynamics.
Yeah,
Like going back to like how this is a cinematic universe without it really trying to be. Like all of the films are connected, but like
I
very
mean,
loosely up until more recently.
yeah, I was
Like
gonna say like the
like the
Dead
four
Reckoning.
the first four films are all tied together, but loosely. Like the biggest tying thread is Ving Rhames or Ving Rhames' character
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Luther,
yeah.
who is
That's a
just
great character
always.
too.
Dude, I was about to say it's just always great to. I love Ving Rhames,
Yeah,
and I think he was a standout in these films. I was upset that they didn't get him for the second film. I don't know why,
he is
but
in the second film.
was he?
He's in all of them. He's
No,
other.
he's missing one of them. He's missing one or two of them. I'm
He's
telling
not in
you,
the. He's not in the next one. I don't think. Hold on a second.
four.
Yeah, I think he's not in the next one. Ghost
I don't think
Protocol.
he's in four, and maybe like 5 minutes of five.
He's in five, isn't he?
Yeah, but
No,
I'm
he's
talking
in
about like
five.
five. That's what I'm talking about. He's in like 5 minutes of five, but he's not in four. Okay,
No, he's in quite a bit of five.
is he?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta
Yeah, he's
rewatch
not
that.
in four. That's the one he's not
Okay,
in.
that's the one he's not in. I remember him not being in one.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's the one consistent character that I'm glad that they've always brought back and they didn't kill. But who
Hmm.
knows? They'll probably kill the fucker in this next one along with Benji because it's cool and edgy, and it's Tom Cruise.
I don't know. I don't think they'll go that far. Like
I don't know. I heard they make some pretty crazy decisions.
I don't
Pre-
know.
Bro, just as crazy as all the plot twists in that first film, right?
Crazy in that they don't make sense or crazy in that like they're surprising.
Crazy in the sense I don't know how Ethan Hunt got trapped into thinking John Voight didn't shoot himself with the camera on his chest. But that's
Oh.
either that's either here. He
I
just
mean,
conveniently looked away or didn't like have the camera on like when John Voight was pointing it at himself. But you
well,
know
he like
what?
well no like cuz John Voight like looks away, I guess is their reasoning.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, I yeah, I some of it's a little like if you think about it for like too long, maybe it doesn't hold up as well. But I
Well,
mean, in the moment, it feels like a good twist.
the thing that makes me like not like it as much is going back to the first film is I was shocked at how fucking long you spend on the first act. I totally forgot
Oh,
the first 35-40 minutes is dedicated to the whole like setup of the film.
I kind of like that because like we get to see like watching the movies for like the first time. like starting with the first one, you kind of get to see like how their operation works and like the character relationships, and it also makes it more effective when they die. Sorry, spoilers. And I don't know. It does feel like it's more of like a suspense. Like, well, I mean, it is Brian De Palma too, so that kind of makes sense. But I don't know. I like how the way that this one unfolds, like the structure of it, a lot more, even to like some of the newer movies.
See, I agree, but like I feel like I kind of disagree at the same time because going off your point of it being more of like a espionage thriller with this one and a real down to bare basic spy thriller.
Hmm.
I feel like the ending kind of undercuts all of that by it becoming this. Like, people want to joke about how Mission Impossible became kind of over the top. Not in the same sense that Fast and the Furious did, but like this franchise kind of became synonymous for Tom Cruise doing these over the top action stunts where, let's be real, if like no one has a rig on, they're not hanging on to a fucking paper airplane 2,000 feet in the sky by themselves with like 150-mile-per-hour winds hitting them, right? Or hanging on the edge of an airplane taking off a fucking freight airplane, nonetheless. Like, those things aren't realistic, and I think a lot of people forget that, like, Tom Cruise is hanging off the front of a fucking speed train in the first film. And so, like, for me, it kind of feels jarring to start doing all of this really outlandish stuff at the end. And I kind of forgot like how much the ending of Dead Reckoning takes from this film as I was watching it.
Oh, you mean with like the train stuff?
Yeah, the train stuff and
Mm,
the whole third act, like the whole idea of like cops coming in and ruining the whole business deal.
mm.
Like, it doesn't all unfold like exactly the same, but like it all has like the same plot elements. They all wind up going to the top of the train.
Maybe
They
that's why
come
I don't
back
like Dead
down.
Reckoning,
Like,
because it's not as good as this one.
that's what I'm saying.
Like
But like at the same
I,
time, I feel like it doesn't. I don't think what the film sets up warrants all this. Like, especially when you have that iconic scene of Tom Cruise like breaking into that vault center with the computer and he can't like sweat or anything. Like, you have a movie full of these tense moments. Like, you have a whole opening 35-40 minute act dedicated to all of the members, quote unquote, going down, whether some do and some don't, that aren't just these big flashy action moments. And so, like, for me, that kind of undercut the ending a little bit for it to be this action thriller. Like, he kind of had to be like, oh yeah, that's right, guys, we are this action thriller franchise, when in retrospection it really wasn't at this point. Because I really appreciated what Ryan Jesus Christ, not Ryan De Palma,
Brian De
Brian De
Palma.
Palma. Dude, I sound like a waitress at Starbucks or barista at Starbucks when I order my drinks. I'll say my name Ryan, and they'll be like, "Okay, thanks, Brian." I'll be like, "All right, yep, no problem. Thank you very much."
I mean, I understand what you're saying and how like that might come off a little bit. It might come off as kind of jarring, but I mean, I don't know. It's not as outlandish as like say a James Bond movie, and maybe that's why it doesn't bug me because I've seen all of those fucking movies, and I know when a movie like can really like lean into the absurdity. Um,
but that was the thing.
I mean, that being
Like,
said, though, too, like I think it sets. I think it sets it up well, like the stakes of it well enough for you to kind of just like get lost in like, oh yeah, there's like they're on top of this speeding bullet train, and um, this old man is trying to get onto a helicopter, and the helicopter goes into the tunnel with the train. Like I don't know,
it's just so
it definitely.
unnecessarily extra when
I mean, yeah, like
it didn't need to be, and I thought like they
I mean, I
built
think
a.
it kind of needs to be because otherwise it's kind of just more of the same, and I feel like adding that little bit at the end kind of makes it's the climax of the movie, so you want to like go like all in with the big action set piece. I mean,
I
like
mean,
espionage
It's not
side
like Tom Cruise
throws.
is actually on the front of the train now, Leo.
I mean, he probably wanted to be, but I I I I like that sequence. like I like the way that it's shot. The visual effects are actually, pretty decent for like given the time that it came out in. And yeah, I mean a lot of spy thrillers are kind of like that, where like at the end there's just like this massive fucking action set piece that, you know, I don't know. I liked it, but I can understand what you're saying, and like, and nothing else in the movie is like that. So it's kind of weird to go into the final act and just be like, oh, this is happening now.
Well, it's gonna be a funny statement because I feel like you're gonna be like, "What?" when I talk about the third film because like I really love that third film.
The third film is kind of the exact opposite of what we just
Dude,
said. And you know what's funny about
yeah,
that though? When I was watching it last night, I remember I got to the end, and when like when he like when she like brings him back to life after like zapping his brain, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, this movie is, we probably got another good like 20 minutes after this when he like, finally finishes the mission or whatever. And then he woke up, and the rabbit's foot was there and everything, and it was over. I was like, oh, I could have swore there was more after this. Like there was a bigger like action scene, because it really is just him like infiltrating. Well, not even really infiltrating, but just like, mowing down people in this goddamn random building. But I don't know. I The third one is definitely a highlight of the series. I think, like,
I
I
definitely think it's the most fun.
that's
And
true.
I
Yes,
don't know.
you're right.
That's like the best way I can put it. Like it doesn't, like it's taking itself seriously, but at the
It's not.
same time, it's like
It's
hyper realistic.
Yeah. It's kind of a good mix between like the spectacle of like the later ones, and even to some extent like the first one, but also like the more like spy elements of the first one. And I just love that it almost completely disregards everything from Mission Impossible 2 except for like the voice thing that they
Everybody, bro, every film after the second one disregards the second film. It's almost like it doesn't exist.
it is kind of funny that like because you really can watch these movies in like almost any order, and it doesn't really matter except for like the last ones. But like honestly, I might even say that starting with the third one is probably better, because like nothing that happens in the first one is really that integral to like the other ones. And then the second one, like everyone else just like straight up ignores all the time. And not to mention it's not really a good movie. So I used to always just watch from the third one. Like if I ever did like a marathon, I would just start watching from the third one, because it is a lot more consistent with like the quality of the future installments. And you're right, it is a really fun movie. It's probably the most like
Hollywood.
yeah, like blockbuster Hollywood version of the Mission Impossible movies.
It throws out the spy aspect and just goes like full action. It's just like
I mean, no,
uh,
there's still some kind of spy elements.
there's some elements, but like it kind of it brings that down to like 10-15% and
Yeah, the
brings
action
everything
really
up.
does take the center,
Yeah,
take
there's a
center
lot of
stage.
the thing that at least brings me like higher on the end of my enjoyment with Mission Impossible 3 in comparison to like that first one is I think a lot of the character dynamics and relationships work a lot better. In
Yeah,
particular, like with Ethan and Julia, their core relationship is really good.
yeah,
Um, Owen Davian by Philip Seymour Hoffman, really great villain, like really like in I after knowing like the whole twist with their interrogation scene
hmm.
with Owen and Ethan, like they both have really great interrogation scenes, like having
Yeah,
Ethan like I don't know how to say it, but like put him in between the like doorway hanging out of an airplane, so he's stuck just dangling while they're flying, and then Owen just like got a gun to what is supposed to be his like wife's head, and then the film opens with her getting shot, so you think she's getting shot the whole time. Like just really good stuff. I think it's really intense and it's really good, just really well done because you care a lot more about these characters than I think you do with like Ethan and Claire, or like Ethan and Jim as like a father son somewhat relationship. Like
Um,
I don't know. I didn't feel anything when like Ethan got betrayed by Claire or Krieger. Like the
I mean, at
only
least with Claire, it kind of works in the sense that like we've spent like the whole movie sort of like slowly like building up the tension between them.
But
But
it
I mean,
feels
at
so
least with
obvious with her. That's my problem. Is like even though you know the twist, it just like it. The moment she comes back, it just almost already feels like a red flag, and you don't trust it.
mm,
And so at
um,
least like the Krieger one is somewhat like decent because he's like that new guy who comes in, but
yeah.
like the Claire kind of feels like older like man woman. You know what I mean? Like they might just be in on it together. It yeah, that's my argument for it because I
I
can just
mean,
keep going on and on about
I
it.
will say, like going back to the first one, like I do, and I like. Yes, you can kind of see it coming, but I think on a first watch it works really well. And I like the scene where like Ethan confronts her like at the end on the train. I do like the that they decided to just like kill her off instead of like
Letting her live.
yeah, because there isn't really a good like ending for that character otherwise, and it would have been really cliche if like they just get to like walk off in the sunset, which is something that we'll see in these movies quite a bit. Um, and I but no, nothing is worse than the character relationships in that second one. They're so goddamn bad.
Dude,
It's not even
there's
funny.
nothing good. There's nothing good
I
about that second
honestly
one,
I
bro.
don't even remember most of the characters' names. I think the woman's name was Naya, the one played by Tandy Newton. I think her name is.
I
But
forgot
like,
Tandy Noon was even in that, bro.
yeah,
And I
she
know she
plays like
probably
the
plays the
love
main love. It.
interest.
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
she does.
she's good in it, but and all the acting is good. It's just like the writing is really subpar. Um, and but yeah, not to go too deep into that one, but I do really like in Mission Impossible 3, like all of the characters just seem much more well written and like rounded. You know what I mean? Ethan has always been good for the most part,
Luther
and
has always been good too. I think their
yeah, that's
relationship.
true. Yeah,
There's I think there's a reason why Luther's been like the guy from one to now, and like even if he
and
didn't come back, he did come back at some point, and like
yeah,
you see the foundation of like their friendship. Like it's not strong in like that first one and second one, but like by the time you get to the end of that third one, you could tell the real camaraderie between the
yeah,
two.
yeah. I really like that, and I love the way that they set that up, and that like Ethan is trying to like move on with his life and like live like a normal life, and Luther's just like, I don't understand why you want that. And it kind of goes back to like the ending of the first one where Ethan was asking him like, oh, how does it feel to be like, a citizen again? And he was like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of gonna miss being disreputable. Like I like that stuff. Like I like when the writers try to make us like feel something. um and yeah, and then even in introducing Benji in this one too, like I know it's probably just because like he was friends with J.J. Abrams, but I like that they kept bringing him back, and he's become like another like staple of the franchise. Um, I mean, yeah, those three are like the only ones that really come back,
I mean,
because
Michelle
the other
Monaghan
characters,
too.
I for
She comes
cameos,
back.
yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like the other members of like this movie's crew, like they keep changing. Like in this one, it's Jonathan Rhys Meyers and
I always forget Maggie
Maggie Q,
Q's in
yeah.
this, bro.
Maggie
She's the one I
Q.
always forget's in this. Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne, I forgot, was in this as like the
Oh,
director
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this time.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This
Billy
movie,
Crudup too.
yeah.
I knew he was the villain though.
Oh, you
So
did?
like
Well, I mean,
yeah.
like when you first saw it, or because
Not
when
when I
I
first
first saw
saw
it,
it, but like this is one I actually remember well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the funny thing is that when I like the last few times that I've watched this movie, I've watched them so like far, like spaced out from each other, that like I distinctly remember the last time I knew that there was a twist, but I didn't remember what it was. And then I started watching and I was like, oh, I bet you the twist is that like Lawrence Fishburne is the bad guy. And I was like, it's not really much of a twist because, you know, he's kind of an asshole the whole time. But then it got to the point where it revealed who it was, and I was like, oh. So I kind of tricked myself into like experiencing the twist again for like the first time. And I was like, oh, didn't remember that it was actually Billy Crudup's character.
I think it works because
No, yeah.
that's another thing is I think Billy Crudup is a great actor and he plays like
He has
that
such a nice
that
guy vibe,
yeah,
doesn't he?
that nice guy vulnerable
Yeah,
type
he's
of
like it,
vibe.
but
Where you can just open up to him, he just kind of
yeah.
just seems like he'll go with it and just be there to support you.
Well, I think that's why the twist works so well is because
Exactly.
throughout like in the moment you keep seeing like, oh, this guy's kind of like a pushover, and like, you know, he's a little too nice, and then like he has no
And
real authority, like because
yeah.
one Ethan just keeps doing stuff on his own, and then he's always being like put in his place by Lawrence Fishburne's character. But then at the end you kind of, when it's revealed to him and he's talking, you kind of think about it like, oh, that's why he's the that's why he like became like he turned, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it beats like John Voight being the villain because I think it like I can't name any films like off the top of my head, but I feel like John Voight is very not might not be typecasted, but like he's not always a good guy when he's cast in a role. You know what I mean? Not necessarily a villain, but he's not a guy that you tend to cheer for.
I mean, I've seen a couple of movies where he's not like a villain.
That's what I'm saying though. But like, oh, where is he? With John? Oh, I'm in the third film. Fred. That's why I
You
can't
trying
find
to
it.
remember what movies John Voight's
Like,
in?
yeah, like Midnight Cowboy. He's not a not a good character whatsoever in that film. That's it. Ray Donovan. No one's a good character in that.
What is he in?
Megalopolis. I forgot he was in Megalopolis, bro. That
He's
definitely.
he's in National Treasure. He's not a bad guy. He's like the
I
dad.
forgot he was a National Treasure.
He's in Transformers. He plays the president.
He was in Transformers.
Yeah, the first one. He plays the president of the
Oh,
United
dude,
States.
he was in the live action Bratz film
Oh
too.
wait, no. He doesn't play president. He plays like the, I don't know. He plays like the head of the FBI or something. I don't remember.
I don't remember him playing Laura Croft's father.
Yeah, I remember that. He's in the Reagan movie. Of course, he's in the Reagan movie. Who the fuck did he play in Heat? Oh no, I do remember. He plays the.
I haven't actually not seen Heat.
You've never seen Heat,
No.
dude.
I
What the fuck is wrong with you?
know
How have
I'm a
you
bum.
never
I'm a
seen
bum,
Heat?
bro.
You are a bum. What the fuck? Oh, I forget he's in Zoolander.
I don't know, but I think Megalopolis is a crime on humanity, so that's neither here nor
That one
there.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, bro, I don't think you'll ever see it.
Oh yeah, you're right, because it's like you can't get it anymore, can you?
Yeah, because what's it called? He refuses to put it on like any digital streaming or DVD. Because he like believes in the theater experience, which honestly is kind of cool for me because I saw it in theaters, so I can't sit here and
But
complain now.
I wanted to watch it when it came out, and it's just never gonna come. Or I guess it was
I
on
saw it
like
in IMAX
it
too.
was like on Amazon for a while or something, wasn't it?
It
That's
might
kind
have
of
been.
fucked, man. Like, dude, seriously, that's not, that's not why he got butthurt that everyone was clowning on him over it.
I mean, yeah, bro. I would be too. I would be too after making
Because he
that,
sold
bro.
he like
He sold his soul to make that movie, bro.
he sold his entire fucking winery or whatever and lost $40 million.
Good for him. I'm proud.
Anyways, sorry, that was a tangent. What were we talking about?
No,
Mission
just about
Impossible 3.
the difference in like the villain comparison between the first and third film
I
between
mean,
John Voight.
I don't know. I like him as a villain, you know, in like that character.
No, yeah.
Um, I don't know.
No, I like it. I like him in the role. I just think Philip Seymour Hoffman and Billy Crudup are
No,
much
yeah, I
better
agree. Yeah,
written.
they're definitely, yeah, they're more interesting villains.
And honestly, I'd even say Philip Seymour Hoffman gives the better performance of the
He does, yeah.
three.
Well, because I would say that Philip Seymour Hoffman's character is like the main antagonist for most of the movie, and then Billy Crudup, like the twist comes in at the end.
That he's like the
Um,
guy behind the scenes.
yeah, but yeah, I think these ones are like the third one maybe not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite either. I mean, if we ignore Mission Impossible 2,
I don't think
like
there's a bad one if you ignore the second one. That's the thing. Is like I would gladly take any of them at like number one or two outside of maybe Dead Reckoning. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't know. I need to finish watching them and like rewatching them to really get a sense of like which one I like more and which one I like the least. Well, I know which one I like more, but it's more of like where the other ones fall.
Yeah.
Because like I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember a lot about Rogue Nation. Um, I don't. Um, yeah, I don't remember a lot about that one. I remember the fourth one because that was the first one I ever saw, and I saw it in theaters.
The one thing I really enjoyed going back to is seeing a lot of the foundation for how Ethan became kind of distant and disheartening towards like the end of the franchise where he dissociated from everyone and he became like I the world has to be saved on my back, like he has the whole world on his shoulders or something like that.
Mm,
um it was interesting in the first one with his whole team dying in that aspect, but I think the third one really knocked it in with the whole complication of having true relationships in this field of work and kind of going off of the typical genre twist where the good guy gets the girl that he saves at the end, and instead of getting the girl, having the girl is kind of what you don't want because that just brings more pain and agony, and the further they stay away, the happier you would actually be and the happier they would probably be. But they come back to that like eventually, but I think the third film does like a really good job at like starting to build those crumbs out by the end of the film.
mm.
I like it because it's a lot different from like your traditional action film where they do get that girl. They do have a sex scene, but like it's not like he saves her, they fall in love and they have sex. It's they just
You
got
mean what
engaged.
happens in the second one?
Yeah, well, yeah. Pretty every trope an action film has is just the second film. That's
Pretty
real. The
much.
second film is just an action film trope. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it kind of is.
And I like how they do the opposite with the second one. And it's more of a, oh, they're getting married, they love each other type of thing, rather than, oh,
Yeah,
I just saved
and
you, sweetheart.
you know
Let's
what's
have
funny?
sex.
You know what's funny? Oh, I remember watching the second one, and like meaning yesterday. I remember while I was watching it, I was like, I feel like this relationship would work a lot more if they had like a previous history and they hadn't just met like a couple days ago. And then because their relationship like happens very quickly, like he goes to recruit her and then she's like I'm not interested, and then he's like racing her on the mountain like highway or whatever, and then like her car like spins out of control, and then he like does something to save her or like to stop the car, and like she's dangling off the cliff, and then he saves her, and then immediately they start having sex. And then I was just like, this is really annoying.
Typical. This
Yeah,
is
I
really
was like,
typical.
oh, this is really annoying. I was like, and then like, it shows him like waking up in bed with her, and they do have like a really like nice scene together. But the whole time I'm just thinking like, you guys like literally just met, and then like, I just hated the way that it started, and yeah, the whole time I was like, yeah, I feel like I'd care more about this relationship if they had like some sort of history with each other like before now,
Bro, because
and then
two
going
hot
in.
people need to have sex.
Yeah,
Remember
and
that.
then getting into Mission Impossible 3, where they do kind of have that, like they have an already established relationship. They're getting married. and like we're seeing him interact with like her friends and family, and I was like, this is what I wanted to see in the last one. Like, it's just so
No,
much better.
yeah. You get a
Everything.
much better sense of their relationship. Like he's out of the IMF. He's
Well,
kind
he's
of
not an active.
dissociated.
He's not active in
Well,
the field. He's like a training officer.
well, that's yeah. Like he's not doing the dirty work,
Yeah.
which like kind of goes into like a relationship that I was kind of mixed on because I I liked what they did, but I wish they'd had more. At least, if not in this film, the second one, but you could tell that they didn't think about it too much between the two films. But I wish you had a little bit more of the like Carrie Russell and Lindsay Ferris character and the Ethan Hunt character, who
Mm,
Lindsay's like his protege, like you were saying before. He's
yeah.
training people rather than being in the field in this film. And I thought the moment in the beginning where he goes back out, like kind of comes out of the field retirement to come get her, is sweet and all, and like it's a good moment to build up to like where the franchise goes, where the people you care about, you can't have those type of relationships no matter, even if it is a working relationship, it still takes that like emotional toll on you. I just wish they showed a little bit more of their actual before relationship rather than talking about it,
Mm,
so it'd be a little bit more of an impact when she does like die in the beginning, because
yeah.
it's a good moment. It's shot well, it's acted well, but like I just didn't see their relationship. I just felt like I heard most about it
Yeah.
until like you save her.
Yeah. I mean, it's a small cog in the machine. So I mean, I did kind of notice that. I was like, oh, we don't get to see very much of her, and so it's but I think it gets away with it from like the shock of the moment, because that's kind of the point of it, and it also introduces the whole
Bomb thing in the
the
head.
charge in the head thing. There's a couple of like cheesy moments in this movie. I will say, like, I think he's like having a nightmare or something, and he's like dreaming about um
Yeah.
like training her. That was a little weird, like the way like,
He has the hero nightmares after like his Padawan like dies or something. Like
but yeah,
there's a lot of fucking badass shit in this third movie, though, dude. While watching this third one, I would just remember sitting back and be like, dude, this is so fucking cool when he does the pendulum swing onto the building, slides down backwards and shoots like the fucking security guards. And the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, bro, this I can't remember which Jackie Chan film. I can't remember if it was from the Rush Hour series or the what was that cop series he did in China?
Police Story.
Police Story. Yeah,
Never seen
I
it.
one of the two franchises, Jackie Chan like slides down like a long window in the same fashion, but he doesn't shoot
Oh,
anyone.
I do know what you're talking about.
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
remember which film it was, but it was from one of those two franchises. But I was
yeah.
watching that and I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is so fucking sick. And then you
Yeah.
have like the whole bridge sequence with the fighter jets. It's just like there's a lot to like talk about in this film, and there's a lot to keep you entertained. That when you do
Yeah.
get to like that third act, and it becomes that much more intimate personal story rather than shooting each other. Like I really like the handheld stuff. Like it's not a lot in this film, but like at the
Like
end
it's
when
a
he's
J.J.
like,
Abrams film. It's gonna have some
yeah,
handheld, like, and honestly, most of the time it's not even handheld. Like, because I remember like watching like the behind the scenes for Star Trek. It's literally just like JJ like grabbing onto like the film, because I'm pretty sure they shot all these on like actual film, grabbing the film canister like that's attached to the camera and just
shaking
shaking
it.
it while it's on a tripod or something. It's actually kind of funny to watch. But yeah, I do like. It's not like I know I think I've mentioned Man of Steel quite a few times on this podcast already, but like that kind of handheld like shaky cam shit bugs the shit out of me. This one doesn't.
It
Like
it
there's times
depends
for
on
it.
how it's done.
Yeah, and I like this one. I thought it was done well. Like J.J. Abrams is someone who knows how to use his style properly. Um, except
I
maybe okay,
can't
except
watch a
maybe
Bourne film,
except
bro.
for maybe Rise of Skywalker, but the
If
Bourne film, the Bourne movies are good.
Dude,
Like,
that gives you epilepsy. What are you talking about?
no, it doesn't.
It literally hurts my
Dude,
head
epilepsy
watching
is
that
flashing
film.
lights, not
Dude, it
shooting
hurt,
down.
bro. It's still flashing between all those fast cuts outside with the sun flashing into the lens, dude. Like, I hate all three. I don't hate them. I like Matt Damon, but I just can't stand watching them.
I like those movies. I think they're really good, especially the last two, like in the trilogy. I do like Legacy. I Jason Bourne is they should never should have made that movie. I would have rather had a Jeremy Renner led sequel than.
Dude, what about a Jason Bourne meets Mission Impossible crossover
I don't think that would ever work. Mission Impossible is too over the top.
film? I don't know, bro. I think that sounds pretty sick if you ask me.
No, I don't like that. Those two franchises should never like coexist together.
Hey, bro, don't count Tom Cruise out. Do you have
Um,
any like final things for the first or third film before we get to ratings?
um, I think the first one. I think I like that one more just because I think it's better directed. Um, not as like a. I don't mean to like throw shade at J.J. Abrams. I like him as a director, but I think the performances are good. I mean, yeah, I think the performances are better in the first one. And I will say, like Ethan Hunt, like I know, like Tom Cruise, love or hate him. I think he's a good actor, and the emotional moments that he has, like as the character of Ethan Hunt, those are always good. And like even the first one just starts out on it, like that interrogation scene, like that, like there's some really good acting in that one, like, especially between him and Philip Seymour Hoffman, but also in the first one too, and into some degree the second one as well. Like I think Tom Cruise is probably the most consistent thing about this franchise. Um, and like the values that he has, like his character has. Um, and ultimately, I think that's kind of what keeps bringing me back to watch them, is that I just enjoy watching his character and like rooting for him, if that makes sense.
No, I totally get it. And I think that's why this franchise is like
Lasted,
yeah, lasted so long because
despite some of
like
its earlier
it
failures.
it's not even just like a consistency like on screen, but consistency behind as well. Because I don't know when he jumped on as a producer. I don't
He's
remember
been producing
these since the first or
since the first
third.
one, because in the
Okay.
first one, he was the one who went to Paramount and was like, I want to make a Mission Impossible movie. I mean, obviously they'd been trying, like Paramount had been trying to make a movie based on because it's based on a TV show. You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is listed
So
as a
yeah.
producer.
So yeah, they'd been trying to make a movie, but it had never gone anywhere. And then he came and he was like, "Hey, I'm a fan of the original. Let's make a Mission Impossible movie." And so he convinced them to spend like $70 million um, on this project,
Interesting.
and
I
like
did not
he's the
know
reason
that.
it got greenlit. So yeah, he's also the reason Brian De Palma directed the first one.
As he should. That's what you call some baller shit, if you ask me.
But
Leo,
yeah,
what
I
what what
guess
what did you give this first Mission Impossible film?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I really like this one. I know it's not your favorite. I know you prefer the third one, but yeah, I don't know. I think this is all around a solid one. It's I like the story. I like the characters. And I like the action. I don't yeah. It's a really good like introduction to the franchise. Yeah, what did you give it?
I give it a 3.5 out of 5. I was about to say 4. That would have been crazy, but 3.5 out of 5. I agree with all like your statements. I think when it comes to like this franchise, that's the thing with like these first three is it's kind of what type of tone in the genre you're going for. The
Yeah, which one
first
do you
one,
prefer?
Yeah, the first one is very much the spy espionage. It's got the very moody lighting with the dark shadows, the lights going on people's eyes. Very much in like that type of style. Whereas like the third one is kind of grainy. You've got these orange yellows. You got these very like warm color tones throughout the film that kind of separates it tonally. So that's why I think like fuck the second one. Sorry guys, but that's
What
why I
would
think
you
like
give the
this
second one?
probably a zero.
Okay, it's
Actually,
not
no,
that bad.
no, no, no.
It's
I'll
not
give it.
that.
I'll give it half a star probably, just off the top of my head.
It's not that bad, but
That's the highest I'll go. Half a star. I'll call it now. But yeah, no, I think the first one's a really good stepping stone for the franchise, and I think it's a really good foundation for like what the franchise ultimately becomes, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah, I would agree. I think I gave it a 3.5 stars. I it's the thing that I really like about the first one is that it's kind of like a smart action thriller, and this one, I not to say that it's dumber, but it is a lot more like palatable, and it kind of feels like honestly, it kind of feels like the more basic version of like the franchise, if that makes sense.
It's the
But I
most
mean,
bare
it's still
bones.
but it's still a very entertaining movie. Like
No, I agree.
it's not at all like a hard watch, especially after watching Mission Impossible 2. That one I think I gave like 2.5 stars. It's
That's
like
generous.
it's like it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's also like it's just such an outlier in the franchise. Like even
Well,
Dead Reckoning is better than that, whatever that was, because
everything
I know
is.
while I was watching it, I sent you I sent you a video clip of the bad guy just saying one of the weirdest lines I've ever heard. He's like he calls he calls women, he compares women to monkeys or something. It's just it's such a weird line, and there's weird shit like sprinkled throughout the entire runtime of that movie. I'm just like, why are you making these people say this? Like even these actors can't make this sound like
The actors even know it's
interesting.
bad when they're saying it. Like,
Yeah. And also there was another part before that where like he reveals Naya to Tom Cruise that like he knows that she's like been like informing on him, and like she comes around the corner, he like pulls a gun on her, and he's like, come out here, you bad girl. It's such a clunky line delivery, and I was like, why did you say it that way?
yeah,
It's
like,
just
bro, why?
it's so bad. Anyways, but
Would
yeah,
you rank or rate the third one?
I gave it a 3.5. Yeah.
Damn, bro, that's rough. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
What did you give the first one?
3.5.
See, so ours are switched because
Yeah,
I
we
gave the first
switched
one
it. Yeah, yeah. Just like the third one just kept me hooked. It took everything that I enjoyed from the first one and kind of just brought it more to the forefront. Like
Mm.
seeing the really good interpersonal relationships between the characters. I will say, I thought Benji Simon Pegg was in this a lot more than I expected.
Yeah, he's in the next one a lot. Wait, is he in the next
Yeah,
one?
yeah, he is. He's in all of them going forward now.
Hold on, I have to double check this because I want to make sure that I have it right.
He is in the fourth. He's in the fifth and sixth, but one of those two, he's in it for only like 5 or 10 minutes, I believe.
No,
I can't
that's what you
remember.
said about Ving Rhames, bro. You gotta.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah,
Bro,
he's in this
Ving
one.
Rhames only appears that much in the fifth one, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you, brother, watch. We gotta watch him now.
Well, we are gonna watch them because we're talking about them next week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Where's the cast? Yeah, Simon Pegg is in this one. I don't know. I don't know how much in this one he is.
He's in all
Anyways,
of the fourth.
no, yeah, he's in all the fourth. Yeah, I remember because he has this thing where he wants to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, next week we are continuing our Mission Impossible conversation. We are going to watch the next three: Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, and then Mission Impossible Fallout. Um,
Whoop, whoop.
and then eventually we'll probably be back to talk about the last two in the franchise as well. But yeah, stay tuned for that.
Peace.